In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to draw our own heart in Illustrator. Okay, so first we're going to grab the ellipse tool and we're going to left click on the artboard and create an ellipse with a width of 100 and height of 100 pixels. And we're going to swap around the fill and the stroke here. So the fill is black and there is no stroke. Then what we're going to do is select this and we're going to go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. So it pastes this shape in exactly the same place. And then holding shift, we're going to drag it along like so, to about there. And the reason we hold shift is so it drags it perfectly horizontally. Now we're going to create a rectangle. And to start with, you can just draw any rectangle you like. It doesn't matter what size. If you go up to view, and just make sure that you've got your smart guides turned on. And what smart guides are, as you can see, these green guides that are appearing that just help you line shapes up. So very, very handy. So it's always good to keep those on. What we're going to do now is we're going to drag this rectangle so the left edge lines up with the middle of the circle on the left. Okay? And you can see it's lined up with the green smart guides. So that's fine. And then we're just going to drag it down so it lines up with the top. And then I'm just going to increase the height here. So just drag that down so it snaps to the bottom. Then what I'm going to do is just click on the rectangle again and just drag it out to the right so it lines up with the middle of the right circle. Now a really handy thing to know is if you press Command Y on Mac or Control Y on PC, you'll be able to see all the lines and the anchor points that make up the shapes that you're creating. So you can see here that everything lines up, and then you can press it again to switch back. So now what we want to do is we want to group these three shapes into one shape. So I'll switch back to this view again so you can see. We're going to select all three of those shapes. We're going to go up to the Pathfinder palette on the right, and we're going to click the top left one, Unite. And as you can see, that will make it into one shape. If you did this in the other view, so I'm just going to go back a step. If you select all three shapes there, and you do the same again, you won't see any difference because they're all black. But doing it this way, you can see that they've all merged to form one shape. Okay, so what we want to do now is, if we get the rotate tool over here and just holding shift, rotate it, and it should snap to 45 degrees. Then we're going to go up to edit, copy, and then edit, paste in place. And then we're going to go to object, transform, and reflect. Make sure it's reflecting along the vertical axes and click OK. And it should reflect it on the spot. Now, what we're going to do, you should be able to see, follow my mouse here, this is where our heart is going to be. Okay. So this bit here, this is the dip. So now we can adjust the dip of our heart. So this is the one we've just created. So there's quite a low dip there on the heart. If I select all of this and hold Alt and Shift, Shift to keep it horizontally in line, and Alt to create a copy. Okay, we can move one of these shapes a bit closer like this. And as you can see, the dip in our heart is now a lot shallower. And you can play around with this until you get something you're happy with. But I think this one on the right, that's more the heart shape that I'm looking for in this video. Okay, so let's switch back to our other view. That's what it looks like. But now what we need to do is we need to trim off this bottom left and these bottom right shapes. So if I select one of these, and let's make it red so we can see what's happening. Okay, we're going to select both of them and go up to the Pathfinder palette again. We're going to click on this bottom left one here. Okay, so now it looks like nothing's changed, but actually if I select up here the direct select tool I can now pull these elements apart. So where those lines all overlapped, it effectively breaks those into individual shapes and allows you to do different things with them. So let's just select this bottom left one, you can hit delete, and the bottom right one and hit delete. And if we go back to the other view, you can see this is the shape we're left with, made up of 3 parts. And again, as we did before, we can select all of these parts, go to the Pathfinder palette and click Unite. And now I've finished, I can make this black again and just bring that up in size. And there we go, we've created our heart.